So welcome to the first lecture of physical chemistry. Here we are seeing the first chapter, that is the molecular spectroscopy. So this is the important aspect of chemistry because we cannot actually see the molecules or what is actually happening in the given reaction mixture. So by using certain methods we can predict what is going on in the reaction mixture. So actually we cannot see the molecules, so there is only one way where we can say that actually what is going to happen in the given reaction. So this molecular spectroscopy, or specifically we can say spectroscopy, is the branch of chemistry which will deals with what, to interaction of the radiation with the matter, and by using that interaction we can predict the what is going on in the reaction mixture. So this spectroscopy is utilized in the different manner in the different branches of chemistry. Okay, so if we consider the physical chemistry aspect, so for physical chemistry we will mainly focusing upon the derivation parts. Okay, mainly focusing upon the derivation part of the spectroscopy, means how that various frequencies has been derived, how the spectra can be obtained for the various systems like IR spectra, UV visible spectra, Raman spectra. Okay, so we can predict the various spectra that can be obtained experimentally. Okay, so if you want to like theoretically predict the spectra for the various molecules, various types of spectra like NMR or IR, anything, so we can predict by using the various formulas or the various mathematical expression, and we can predict the actual structure. Okay, that is the theoretical aspect of spectroscopy. So in the physical chemistry we mainly dealing with the theoretical aspect of the spectroscopy. But if we consider the uh, organic spectroscopy, okay, organic spectroscopy, some introductory part is already known to us. So in organic spectroscopy we mainly focusing upon the experimental aspect of chemistry. Okay, experimental aspect of the spectroscopy. So there we are actually running the NMR or IR spectrum for the given sample. Okay, so we are experimentally doing the spectroscopy for the organic compounds or the some inorganic compound also. Okay? So that is the experimental aspect of the spectroscopy. And if we consider the physical chemistry as part, we will mainly be focusing upon the theoretical part of spectroscopy. Okay? So that is the main difference between organic spectroscopy and the physical spectroscopy. So here in this chapter we will mainly dealing with the physical spectroscopy. So we are mainly dealing with the derivation part of the various equations and how we can theoretically predict the spectra of given molecules. Okay, or by using the actual obtained spectra, means in this organic spectroscopy we will get certain values. Okay, so by using that values, how we can actually predict the structure of molecules, so that also it can be useful for the predicting the structure of molecules. Okay, so spectroscopy having the different meanings in the different branches of the chemistry. So we need to just correlate that knowledge of each and every spectroscopic knowledge for each branch and obtain the results. Okay, and in analytical chemistry we mainly focusing upon the we mainly focusing upon the instrumental part of the spectroscopy. Okay, so that is how the spectroscopy is divided into the three branches of, or the main branches of chemistry. Okay, so let us start with this molecular spectroscopy. So the name as such suggesting that spectroscopy is what, it is nothing but interaction of radiation with the matter. So we just simply study the interaction of radiations, that is electromagnetic radiation with the matter. Okay, so electromagnetic radiation is being the one of the form of energy that is being transmitted through the space at a speed of light, that is what, 3 into 10 raised to 8 meter per second. So these radiations which are having dual nature. Okay, we know this, these radiations or the matter is having dual nature, that is wave nature as well as particle nature. Okay, so these electromagnetic radiations are having both of this nature, that is particle nature as well as wave nature. So we are what we are studying, based upon that we just consider the that nature of radiations as either wave or as a particle. Okay, so there are the various wavelengths and various frequencies corresponding to the various types of radiations. So this is the electromagnetic spectrum. So this electromagnetic spectrum will gives you the idea about actually how much that electromagnetic radiation has been spread over the range of frequencies or the range of wavelength, and what type of different radiations are there. Okay, so if we moving from left to right, okay, if we moving from left to right, we are going to get the low energy radiations. Okay, so these gamma radiations are having the highest energy, and here these radio waves are having the lowest energy. Okay, so these gamma radiations are having highest energy and these radio waves are having lowest energy. And if we moving from left to right, the energy of radiations going on decreasing. Okay, so here we are given the wavelength. Okay, so wavelength is going to get what, increase. Okay, because this energy is what, energy is related with the wavelength and frequency by this formula, that is hc by lambda or h nu. Okay, so energy and frequency, or energy and wavelength, are related by using this famous formula, E is equals to h nu, where h is what, Planck's constant, or energy E is equals to hc by lambda, where lambda is the wavelength of given radiation. So we have to consider the either wavelength or either frequency. So this frequency and wavelength are related by what formula, that frequency nu is equals to c by lambda. Okay, so this is the three relations, important relations, which are correlating the frequency, wavelength and energy. Okay, so if we consider this, so gamma radiations are having the highest energy, then X-ray radiations, then ultraviolet radiations, then visible spectroscopy or the visible radiation, then vibrational infrared radiations, means there are infrared radiations which are near, mid and far higher. So we are going to see that regions in higher spectroscopy differently. Then microwave radiations, and last one is the radio wave radiations. Okay, so these spectrums or these radiations are having the specific wavelength or specific frequency. So here some frequencies are given for the ultraviolet radiation, which is what, around 280 nanometer to the 400 nanometer. Then visible spectrum, which is around running from 400 nanometer to the 800 nanometer. Then vibrational infrared radiations are running from 2.5 micrometer to the 15 micrometer. And this radio waves or the nuclear magnetic resonance spectroscopic waves are corresponding to the 1 meter to the 5 meters. Okay, so this is the electromagnetic spectrum for the various radiation ranges. Okay, so these gamma rays are having highest energy and radio waves are having lowest energy. So keep this in mind. And next we need to understand what type of radiations are actually we are using for the different type of spectroscopy. Okay, so if you consider the actual basic principle of spectroscopy, so basic principle of spectroscopy is what, once we will use the certain radiations, that radiations are allowed to fall on the matter. So some amount of radiations are going to get absorbed by the matter, and that absorbed radiations will alter the or the changes the their electronics, vibrational or rotational energy levels of a molecule. So once that energy or the this rotational, vibrational or electronic energy levels has been changed, so finally we will study that change by the radiations that are going to get re-emitted. Okay, so that is the basic principle of spectroscopy. So based upon the radiations or based upon the type of radiations that has been used, there are the various types of spectroscopy. Okay, there are various types of spectroscopy. So first is the, we will see the region of spectrum in the molecule, then what type of energy changes that is going to occur in the molecule, and last is the type of spectroscopy. Okay, type of spectroscopy. So if we consider first the radio waves, if we first consider the radio waves, so radio waves are only capable of changing the nuclear spin. Okay, so we know that these electrons are having certain spin, that is plus half and minus y half. Likewise the nucleus is also having the certain nuclear spin. Okay, so these radio waves are only capable of changing the nuclear spin. So this nuclear spin energy changes will require the very small amount of radiations, and that amount of radiations or that amount of energy is present in only radio waves. Okay, that amount of energy is present only in the radio waves. So this nuclear spin is going to change by using these radio waves, and the spectroscopy where this nuclear spin it changes is called as a nuclear magnetic resonance spectroscopy, or the famous spectroscopy which is what, NMR spectroscopy. Okay, so nuclear magnetic resonance spectroscopy is the spectroscopy in which we are going to use the radio waves. Okay, or some another spectroscopy is there, that is if we change the electron spin, then we will call it as the electron spin resonance spectroscopy. Okay? It is the same type of spectroscopy like the nuclear. So this spectroscopy is called as a EPR spectroscopy. Okay? Here it is called as a NMR spectroscopy. NMR spectroscopy, this is EPR spectroscopy. Okay? Now next is the microwave spectroscopy. Microwave spectroscopy is mainly dealing with the rotational in the molecules. Okay, so various rotations that has been occurring by using this microwave radiation. So this is called as a microwave spectra or the rotational spectra. Okay, now next is the infrared spectroscopy. So infrared radiations are corresponding to the rotational of the molecule as well as the vibrational of the molecule. So if we incident this infrared radiation on the molecule, we will be going to see both vibrational as well as rotational changes in the molecule. So this is also called as a vibrational rotational spectroscopy, or simply the IR spectroscopy, infrared spectroscopy. Next, ultraviolet or visible spectroscopy. We know that this will changes what, electronic spectrum of the molecule. Okay, so here there is, in microwave there is only change in the rotational energy of the molecule. In infrared spectroscopy there is only change in the rotational and vibrational energy, and in ultraviolet or the visible spectroscopy there is a change in what, electronic energy of a molecule, which is called as a electronic spectra. Next is the X-ray radiation. So in X-ray radiation there is a bond breaking, so we can call it as a X-ray spectroscopy, or sometimes the core electrons might also be get ejected, so that is also called as a X-ray photoelectron spectroscopy. Okay, XPS, or इसका electron spectroscopy for chemical analysis. Okay, so likewise various spectroscopies are there which will uses the X-rays as their primary radiation. So then next is the gamma rays. So last spectroscopy which is the using gamma rays, which is having the highest energy. So gamma rays will result into what, the chemical or the nuclear transition. So there is a excited state transition of the nucleus. Okay, previously in NMR spectroscopy we are having just the nuclear spin changes. Okay, there is only change of the nuclear spin, but here there is a excitation of nucleus from the one energy level to the another energy level. So basically this spectroscopy uses what, Masbow spectroscopy uses this gamma ray radiation. So certainly these are the very high amount of radiations, and this gamma rays radiations are specifically used for the cobalt or Fe. Some isotopes are there which will be detected by using this Masbow spectroscopy. Okay, so all these spectroscopies are governed by certain rules, or certain selection rules are there for each spectroscopy, and there are the certain conditions that molecule must follow in order to show the certain spectrum. Okay, so what are their spectrum and what are the requirements for the given molecules to show the spectrum are like they must have the certain dipole moment or some polarizability in the molecule. So likewise there are the certain conditions. So we can see that conditions in the upcoming lectures of spectroscopy. Okay, thank you.